all the names because the office workers I didn't know.
So, were you still in school when Pearl Harbor happened? Were you in school? Were you in school?
Oh, in Pearl Harbor?
Yeah, were you still in high school? Or were you out of high school?
I start, let's see, 1941 and 42 in high school.
Okay, so then you went to Perfection Gear
Yeah.
later.
Right after, well, when we were on summer break.
Oh, how
And
did
I didn't go back in the fall.
how did you get a job there? Did Auntie Stella start working there first?
No, she went there after I was.
Oh, how did you find out
She
about
wanted
it?
me to talk up for her, but she worked in the shipping department.
Well, how did you land the job at Perfection Gear?
Dolores Banashak, Helen Banashak, she was working there.
Oh,
The people from St. John's were working there.
is that who stood up to your wedding, Helen Banashak, or is that who stood up to your wedding, Banashak?
Yeah. No, Dolores. No, I stood up to hers.
Oh, so
She's the one that introduced me to Dad.
okay, so Dolores Banashak was working at Perfection Gear first?
Yeah.
Oh.
Her and her sister, Helen.
So did she put in a word for you, or you went and filled out application probably?
Well, she just told me to come because they're hiring.
Oh. And
So I
so
just went and filled out the papers and I got hired.
did you have to walk there, or did they?
No, we took a bus.
So you just
The
go
bus
down
stopped
Sibley?
right in front of it. Yeah.
So the bus went from you probably caught the bus at Western and Kedzie?
No, on 11th Street, right on our corner, half a block from where the house was.
Oh, Sibley and Levitt?
Love it.
Okay, and then it took you down, what was that, at like 156th or something? Perfection Gear? Was that on Page? I don't remember
That
where
was
that
like
was at.
157.
157th.
Yeah.
So how big was that building? Was it
It was a
was it
long building.
what is this, like as big
Yeah.
as a Jewel grocery
They
store?
had a lot of different jobs for people. And we had older men that were foremen.
So
I
where
remember
did they start you out working? What did they give you to do first? What job did they give you to do when you first
that's
started
the first
working?
job they gave me.
Doing
was
what?
Right by the grinder. That I had to do the grinding on the wheels.
You had to do grinding?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then, oh,
Well, how
God,
does that work?
Wheel was going like
Now,
crazy.
What are you grinding?
Wheels for airplanes and trucks for service.
Was it were
They
they
were-
gears or were they wheels?
Just the wheels, yeah.
What did you have to grind on the wheels?
And we had to have a microscope, and we had to measure it all the time. You had just let it run a couple of times and then take it off and use the microscope, and it had to be a certain degree.
It's probably a micrometer, right? A micrometer?
Micrometer, yeah.
So it was like you would
Yeah.
put it around the edge of the gear?
I had it, and then my brother Al talked me out of it, and I could kick myself. I shouldn't have sold it because
Oh, you had
I
one.
should have kept it.
You had to buy your own tools?
Yes,
Really? They made you buy your own tools?
yes.
Huh.
We had to pay for them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that micrometer would come in handy.
yeah.
So
it
were you-
would have been a good souvenir. And then I find out he sold it.
Oh, so were you grinding teeth into the wheels, or were you making the wheels smooth?
No, we didn't make them. We had to grind them. They were used. Some of them were used wheels, and we had to repair them. They had to repair them.
Oh.
I made a mistake a lot of times in over grinding them.
Oh. How big were the wheels? Were they like
They're like your car wheel.
like on a car wheel?
Yeah.
Oh,
And I lifted them, and put them on the. You had to put it on a wheel. There was like a spoke that was on there. On the machine. So and then we had to change the water. When it got dirty, it had to be clean water that you had to dunk them in to make sure that they were okay. They weren't burned out.
So were these wheels that you would put a tire on?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
That wheel was always going, and then we couldn't shut it off completely. We just enough to put the wheel on or off, take it off.
How many of you were there that did that? Just you doing that, or were there other people grinding wheels?
They had 3 shifts.
Oh.
So I was on one of the shifts.
Oh.
I was on the midnight shift.
Oh, you were? Oh, you had to go in there at night.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, was it mostly men or women working there?
There were a lot of men. Some men were there, older men. They were the ones that were teaching us or testing to see if they were okay.
Huh. Do you still remember any of the names of the people you worked with there?
I did what?
Do you remember any of the names of the people you worked with? Like
no.
Your boss?
I don't even remember our foreman.
No?
In fact, Dolores Banashak's brother, Chester, he was in the service, and he gave a guy my name so I introduced to him, to a serviceman. So we got, pretty close. And he came for vacation, and he came. I was supposed to meet him downtown on the train, and we were supposed to come together. I didn't meet him, but there was a guy that was passing booze around. He was treating anybody. There weren't that many on a train that, in that morning. And so he came by me, and I didn't take any. And then, he kept saying, oh, she don't want any, and she's not being friendly. And then so he went to talk to some other people. And I decided to come home. I didn't meet him. I didn't, care whether I met him or not.
Well,
I didn't know who he was.
That was a very wise decision that you didn't go meet that other guy.
And an hour later, somebody's knocking at the door. Who was it? But that guy that was drinking. He was on that same train I was.
Oh.
And he took a taxi to our house. And I had to take a taxi to our house.
Hey, did he follow you home?
No. So he was from West Virginia. His name was, forgot his first name. Wojciechowski was his name. And in fact, I used to write Polish to his mother in West Virginia. And he was saying, well, she didn't know no English, just like my mom. She didn't know no English. So then he stayed a little bit, and he wanted me to go back. So I asked my foreman, I says, can I go take a ride to my boyfriend's house and meet his family? And he says, definitely not. He wouldn't let me go. He says, I need you here. I need you to bring those wheels.
So did you?
He went home, and he bought me a wristwatch. It was supposed to be a beautiful wristwatch, gold.
You still have it?
Benner's. No, I sold it at a yard sale like a dummy for the gold of it. because it was good. At that time, they made good gold watches. So one of my high school friends, she was going to all of the yard sales, buying gold, buying wristwatches and rings and bracelets and necklaces, anything that was gold. She was making out like a bandit. So, and then he was writing to me, calling me on the phone, and I just took so much of it. Then I start going out with guys, with the Heckwish guys.
Oh.
And he wanted to know why I'm not answering him. I'm not writing him. I'm not taking his phone calls. And he says he wants that wristwatch back because that was supposed to be like an engagement ring. So I didn't give it to him. I paid no attention to him. Then I got married and he was still writing. Emily was opening all his mail and reading it. And she would tell me some of the stuff that he wrote. But not that much.
West Virginia.
He was writing pretty often. So I forgot what his first name was.
So did you grind wheels the whole time you worked at Perfection Gear?
Yeah,
that's
the only thing I
job.
did.
How long did you work there?
2 years.
Oh, two whole years of grinding wheels, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like Dolores, she was on a press. She had to press something in the wheels. And Stella she got hired, and she was selected she had beautiful handwriting, so they liked her handwriting, and so she was in the sending out packages.
Oh, shipping
department.
Now, didn't Uncle Joe Gill work there too?
Yeah. Well, when he came back, he worked there before. And
is that where he met Auntie Stella?
Yeah.
They met at Perfection Gear.
Well, no, Joe Gill didn't come back until the war was over. Then all the guys came back to their jobs, and we had to go. We were not fired, but we were let go because all the guys had to have jobs when they came back from the service.
Oh.
So they came, but Stella met Joe there, and they started going out pretty steady.
Oh.
Well, then I don't know when he started working at the car shop on Western Avenue.
So he never worked there at the time you worked there then?
No, because they were in the service.
Was the war over when you left, or did they let you go before the war was over?
No, when the war was over.
Oh, so it was
war was over.
Probably
completely.
Even against Japan when that was over.
Yeah.
Then they laid everybody off, huh?
So that's why I had to find another job. That's when I found Ingersoll in West Fulton, working on wash machines.
Oh, I wonder what division that was.
Yeah.
So, I know Perfection Gear, they won that award for E for Effort flag. They had one of those. Do you remember anything about that?
We had a lot of servicemen come and give us those E-pins.
Oh, did they have a ceremony?
An award, yeah.
Did you go to the ceremony, or was it during the day? You would have been in the night shift, huh?
No, we were all outside, and they didn't have a room because there were so many people. We were outside when they were presenting them with the award.
Oh, so you got to hear a speech then, huh?
You know, when Kathy comes for the picnic, ask her. Stella might have some pictures. She might have some stuff or awards from Perfection Gear.
You have pictures from Perfection Gear. Do you remember anything about those pictures you have? There's
Yeah.
pictures of like Auntie Stella and some other ladies.
Yeah,
but I
well-
don't think you're in any of the pictures, though. Maybe
Yeah.
you got them from Auntie Stella?
Well, at lunchtime we used to go outside and jump rope. That's what it was. We used to have to go outside. And then we had a bowling team. I have a picture of the bowling team. All women, all
Oh.
dressed up in hats and high heels.
What did you go after work or on the weekends bowling?
Yeah. No, we bowled in Harvey. There's a bowling alley on Broadway. I don't know if it's still there. It was kind of upstairs like. And then we used to have a dinner after bowling season was over.
Did you used to go for lunch in the area around
Oh,
there?
we ate lunch there.
Yeah, just there. Did they have a
Yeah.
cafeteria?
They
or
didn't have a
cafeteria?
cafeteria.
You
No,
brought your own lunch?
no. You had to bring your own lunch. Just take a sandwich.
So what'd you do with all your money you were earning during the war?
You know, we only got 98 cents an hour. That's all they paid us. 98 cents an hour for that heavy work.
Oh, was it heavy? You had to lift the wheels?
Yeah.
The wheels were heavy, huh?
But when you're young, you do it.
Yeah, you could do it.
So I was only 17.
So you weren't actually grinding gears, you were grinding the wheels itself. How big was your micrometer?
It was about that big.
Okay, so you're grinding the width of the rim of the
Yeah,
wheel,
well-
probably?
You know, they had spokes like, and you had to measure. Well, I don't know if we had kind of like separated the wheel itself, and then it had spokes. I don't even remember what it looked like. Because they were all different.
And they never really told you what they were for, huh? Did they ever tell you what their wheels were used in or for?
Well, they were. They only said they were for the war trucks and the airplanes.
Oh, airplanes too, huh?
Yeah, just those two.
So, you liked working there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
That was
Yeah.
your first
We were
real job,
friends
right?
Because we knew each other. They were all people from Harvey, from around the church.
Oh. Must have had a decent boss.
Yeah. Oh, there were a lot of them from East Hazelcrest too.
Oh.
Irene something and
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I saw that on the
yeah,
census.
East Hazelcrest women.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
were working there. Yeah, I do remember that. I wonder how many employees they had there. Probably quite a few.
Yeah, well, I don't remember them all. If I looked at the picture, like I say, some of those women, those heavy set women, well, they were working in the offices.
Oh,
The pictures, those that were bowling.
I wonder what year Perfection Gear moved out of Harvey.
I don't think they moved out; they just disappeared.
I looked into it about 10 or 15 years ago, and I think they had an office in North Carolina or something like that.
Oh,
Somewhere, South Carolina, somewhere. I vaguely remember, but they were still in business 15, 20 years ago. I don't know, they might have been a different kind of business, but who knows what they evolved into.
Well, I wonder why they knocked down that building.
Yeah, it must have been
There was
fallen.
nothing but machinery in there.
Must have
anyway.
been abandoned, and then rust belt.
I remember they had to give us shots for TB. And at that time, there was a lot of tuberculosis going. And we had to get shots. And I got the shot. And boy, did I have a red circle. And they said that's nothing. It just means that you were among people with that. But doesn't mean that you have it. Although my stepfather did have it at the time.
Oh, it's a good thing you got a shot.
Yeah.
Did they give you one for tetanus? Since you were working with all that metal? Could cut yourself.
I don't know what it was. What?
Did you wear a mask when you were doing all the grinding?
No.
No, just...
No. We had to wear babushkas.
Oh, keep your hair out of the grinding wheel.
We had to tie our hair up.
Like Rosie the Riveter, right? A handkerchief, big old handkerchief.
And then we couldn't have long sleeve shirts either.
Oh, that might get caught in the wheel too, huh?
There were a lot of people that got hurt there. Dolores was one of them. She worked on a press machine, and she pressed one of her thumbs.
Oh, jeez.
So she was, So
wow.
she could, and I don't remember if they reimbursed her for anything or paid her while she had to be there, but she didn't have to work. And they paid her for that.
Oh. Yeah, that would have been a dangerous job on all that machinery around there.
Yeah, because it really runs. I don't know if there's any around here like that. But it was nice because it was right on Halsted.
Perfection Gear was on Halsted?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, all the way. If you take 159, the bus would leave you right in front of the place.
Oh, well, that was pretty nice.
There was a tavern across the street, and when we got our paychecks, we all ran to the tavern to cash our checks.
Oh, not to drink?
Yeah.
Oh, you were too young to drink, right? You had to be 21? You had to be 21 to buy a beer, right?
Yeah, right. We always had beer. Always had a beer.
Well, weren't you underage for a beer?
It didn't matter.
They didn't care, huh?
There was no age limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You don't remember the name of that tavern, huh?
No. Although we passed it by how many times?
And it was right across the street from
Right
Perfection
across the
Gear?
street, yeah. From where you get out of the gate from Perfection Gear.
Do you know if it's still there?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's gone.
Huh.
There's a couple of taverns there. Not as many as there used to be when Perfection Gear was alive.
So every Friday you would go and cash your check at the tavern, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. And give the rest of the money to my mom.
Oh, you did?
And all I did was leave enough money for lipstick.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to hand over all our money.
Wow.
Even when I worked at Ingersoll. Because she had nobody to work for her.
Yeah. Big family still, because there were still a couple of... How many of you were still living at home then? Alex and Leo were in the service.
Leo and Alex, Virginia.
Stella, Helen,
and me. And I think my sister Mary was there till she got married. The rest were all married.
And moved away, huh?
Yeah, West Pullman. Most of them were from West Pullman. Except Adeline was from California. Adeline ran away from home and got married.
Anything else you remember from those days? That's the whole Perfection Gear story.
That's about it, yeah.
Working 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Give you Saturday and Sunday off?
5 days a week, yeah.
They gave you Saturday and Sunday off.
Right.
Well, that's pretty good.
And I used to get home in the morning, like 7 o'clock.
Oh.
And have my supper. My ma used to work at weddings, and she used to bring a lot of chicken and a lot of stuff to eat. There's a picture of me.
Yeah, eating the chicken. I remember that.
Yeah, eating a chicken leg. And Mary and Joe and Patsy and Richard used to come and visit a lot during the week. Come to visit my mom. And Joe Pollock used to work at Harvester. Harvester was
A big
right
employer.
next door to Ingersoll. Joe, Roscoe used to work there.
So you were working at Ingersoll when you met Dad, right? You must have been working at Ingersoll.
After the war.
Yeah.
That was my first job. No, that's when I met Dad.
When you were at Ingersoll.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I started there, and I met him the first day that I started at Ingersoll.
Oh, geez. Wow. That's a lot to happen in one day. New job and meet your future husband.
So much, yeah. Chaiki worked at
Acme, right?
Acme, yeah. Well, he was in the service too.
Yeah, he was gone too.
Go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'll give it a